All right, welcome back to the channel. So, man, there's some big smack talk coming out about Devin Haney out of the Mayweather gym. Mickey Bay, former lightweight champion, said who works with Devin Haney, as well as some other people in Devin Haney's camp, said that one, Devin Haney beats Lomachenko right now, and number two, Devin Haney sends Gervonta Davis to the hospital if they fought right now. A lot of big words coming, a lot of big talk coming out from Devin Haney, but there's a reason why you might want to actually believe it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Devin Haney. Man, this kid has got a lot of hype behind him. And the more I watch him, the better fighter that I think a better of a fighter that I think he is. And the more that I hear people that I respect talk about Devin Haney, the more I start thinking, hey man, this guy really might be, really has a chance to be a special type of fighter. Now, this weekend, what makes me bring it up in this video was a couple of videos out of Fight Hype and obviously Fight Hype goes to the Mayweather gym, and I understand that Mickey Bay works with Devin Haney. I also understand that I can't remember what the guy's his hype guy, another guy out of his camp. I know they work for Devin Haney, but there's a lot of things that were said by Mickey Bay that make me think, yeah, good point, good point, good point. This right here is a recipe for a fighter that can do some stuff. So let's get into now specifically what they say is that Mickey Bay was like, Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney because Devin Haney was really ready to fight this dude. And also that Gervonta Tank Davis, and I think that I don't know if there's truth to this, like the reason why, however, but the statement that Gervonta Davis isn't really going to be prepared to fight Devin Haney, and that Devin Haney really could do some things to Gervonta Davis. I think that there's a reason to believe that could be true. But let's talk about it in this video. Before I do though, special thank you to everybody that supports on the channel. If you are subscribed to the channel, make sure that you hit the bell icon, and then you can select to get all notifications, and that way you won't have a problem getting a notification when we do our live streams Monday through Friday, or OG Boxing Talk on Sunday, or and you'll be notified of when we release more videos. Also, special thank you to everybody that supports on the Patreon, everybody that supports as a member of the channel, and everybody that just, that comes by the live streams Monday through Friday. You guys really make this channel a lot of fun to do. And, you guys are essential to the success of the channel. So thank you guys very much. Now, Mickey Bay, former IBF champion, said that he believes that Devin Haney could beat Lomachenko right now. Now, I believe that that's the case, and I've been saying that for a while. And the main reason that I believe that was because of the footwork and the mobility of Devin Haney, right? But I was always suspect on Devin Haney's power, and wondering whether or not Devin Haney really is going to, when he moves up to 140, moves up to 147, whether or not he's going to really have the firepower to keep guys off of him. But at 135 pounds, I just figured, hey, man, with the way that Devin Haney moves, Lomachenko's going to have a very hard time tracking him, down, right? Now, what Mickey Bay talked about, though, was just it just opened my mind to the possibility that there's a whole lot more that Devin Haney could do to Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, it's not necessarily that Mickey Bay is vouching for him, but it's what Mickey Bay said about how Devin Haney was trained. And specifically, he mentioned the fact that he trained out of Detroit. Now, I know Mickey Bay is not from Detroit. I think he might be from I think he might actually be from Ohio or Cleveland. But I mean, even that area still, it applies. If you are familiar with like the really great champions in boxing, you would be very surprised how many of them come out of the Midwest of the United States, specifically the state of Michigan, right? And the number of excellent trainers that have come out of the state of Michigan. The obvious examples are Crunk Jim, and the Mayweather family. But you can go before that, and you have guys like well before that. You have guys like Sugar Ray Robinson. You have guys like Joe Louis and guys like that that have come out of and trained out of those areas, and also the people that fought at the same time that they fought, but weren't necessarily as highly skilled or may not have been as talented or not as fortunate. They also went into training boxers. Now, why would the state of Michigan it would be like that, and why would it be like that in the state of Michigan? Well, and through the Midwest. And that is because right around the time boxing started kicking off, there started, in the early 1900s through like the 1920s, there was a big migration of blacks out of the antebellum South, or out of the South, up through what's called the Industrial Revolution into the northern states. So you had a lot of people, you had factory workers in Michigan, you have factory workers in Wisconsin, you had a lot of factories in Illinois, in Ohio, right, in Pennsylvania, in Baltimore, all up through that northern corridor. There's a lot of, other than what was up out east, there was a lot of blacks from the South that migrated up. And during that period of time, the most popular sport in the world, especially for blacks, was boxing. So you had a lot of club fights that were able to be made because you had people move up into a location where there was, where people had jobs, they had money to gamble, right? And it was a good way for fighters, for these athletes to make a lot of money. And so since there was a really good and active club scene, in those areas, people wound up getting, more and more skilled. Now, what Mickey Bay is saying, that people now that trainers now do not have the experience or the know-how that trainers had back in those times, but that institutional knowledge is still there in the city, in the state of Michigan, in the state of Ohio, right? And that's where Devin Haney's trainers come from. So they can not only dissect what Vasyl Lomachenko can do, they also have a ton of tricks up their sleeves to beat that style of fighter. So, once he said that, I was like, there really is something to the Mayweather gym, but really everything that comes out of the Mayweather gym, and including the success of Floyd Mayweather Jr., Roger Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather Sr., and Jeff Mayweather, right, who had different degrees of success as fighters, but all were legitimate trainers. There's just a lot of institutional knowledge there that is going to Devin Haney. And hey, man, if you're going to have that weight of people behind you and experience behind you, you have the talent and you have the drive, you can really become highly, highly successful. That, in large part, is what made Floyd Mayweather Jr. what Floyd Mayweather Jr. is. The reason he's so highly skilled is because, large part, the state that he comes from. Now, you can also see that in fighters through, not just Michigan, but Ohio, but the state of Ohio as well. Ohio, Baltimore, you have, there's also, spots in California, like the Bay Area, I understand has a lot of that as well. So, it was just really interesting to hear Mickey Bay talk about that, put that, shed light into the development of Devin Haney now. And if Devin Haney really has learned all of the tricks of the trade that they have coming out of Detroit, and he's, a bigger guy, a more talent, a younger guy than Vasyl Lomachenko, yeah, I can understand why, Lomachenko and Bob Arum might not want that fight. Now, while I agree with that, I got to put this on that sending Gervonta Davis to the hospital thing. I'm not buying it, man. That would be a really, really good fight. But like you said, man, same thing applies to, in Detroit. They got the same skill set over there. They got the same tricks. They got the same, not quite as heavy a pedigree, but a significantly heavy pedigree, for the trainers out in Baltimore, and definitely the cats out in Philadelphia, which is not too far off. Those East Coast boxing communities got some stuff as well. But look, I certainly hope that we get an opportunity to see these fights, both the Devin Haney Lomachenko fight and the Devin Haney Gervonta Davis fight. But what these guys are saying, it makes a lot of sense, and it makes me even more excited for Devin Haney's career. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, and then check all notifications options underneath that. Thank you to everybody that supports on the Patreon, everybody that supports on the channel membership. Like, comment, and share. And with that, we're out. Peace.